All right, chapter 14, the last chapter of The Go-Giver. And funny enough, chapter 14 is called The Go-Giver. It opens up with introducing a new character called Claire. She is exiting a parking garage on an August sunny day. And she's talking to herself, "You'll do fine, Claire," exclaiming out loud on several occasions, as she's been communicating with this company for a few weeks now. But it has been only by phone and email. Today she was going to meet the man himself behind the company. She keeps saying, "You'll do fine," and headed down the block. Claire had done quite a bit of research on this young company in the past few weeks, hoping to gain some insight into exactly what might have catapulted it into such an amazing overnight success. It was not quite a year since one of the company's founders had the good fortune to land the huge contract and launch the business she was about to visit into its stratospheric rise. One of those sweetheart deals that comes along once in a lifetime, if then, was now one magazine article had described it. Yet in the 10 months since, he and his two partners had come into one good stroke of luck after another. As young as he was, there was already a reputation circulating about his having a golden touch. So Claire arrives at the address. She goes in the lobby, and she looks at a large wooden sign in the quaint tile foyer, and it says right here, "Rachel's Famous Coffee, 5th floor." Oh, you can see what's going to happen here now. So she gets to the reception of Rachel's Famous Coffee. The receptionist greeted Claire with a warm smile and directed her down a long hall to a door bearing the single word "brainstorming." She knocked twice softly, then twice again with more assurance. The door swung open, and she heard a man's voice exclaim, "Come in!" A beaming, spectacled, round-faced man in his late 30s ushered her into the spacious conference room. As he shook her hand, "You must be Claire," said the man. "I'm Hanson, Neil Hanson. It's good to meet you. My partners and I appreciate all the hard work you've put into this proposal." Claire nearly gasped. The huge polished hardwood conference table in the center of the room was converted into an elaborate scale model of what looked like a tiny mountainside settlement. On the outskirts of the village, a bank of wind-powered turbines drove a nearly invisible irrigation system that snaked through a series of tie-red fields. The designer in Claire marveled at the simplicity and efficiency of the whole thing. It was stunning. "Thank you very much, Mr. Hanson." Claire got out of the wall, the other side of the table. Anyways, Claire and Hanson continued to talk. And then later on, right after they get done talking, Claire now meets the other partner. "Claire, welcome. Thanks for taking the time to see me," said the third founding partner at Rachel's Famous Coffee. So there's Neil Hanson, Rachel, and the third one being da-da-da-da-da. "It's an honor, sir," Claire replied, as she wondered, why is he thanking me? I like that. I like thanking people for their time. I like that. It's a good call. We'll be doing that here. "Please call me..." I already do it already, but I'm going to continue to do it even more. "Please call me Joe." Oh, snap. The third partner's Joe. If you didn't see that coming, then surprise, surprise. Hope you enjoyed the surprise. Claire smiled, but despite her nervousness, something about the man's voice had put her curiosity at ease. "All right, Joe. Thank you," said Joe. He shouted her to a chair, then took a seat. "Claire, I want you to know something. We're all genuine and appreciative of your proposal. It's obvious you put a great deal into it." Boom. Turns out they don't actually go with a proposal. They go with a bigger and larger resourced marketing firm. But the joke is on the marketing firm because they're offering Claire a position to tackle a massive, impactful project that has a purpose tied to it, where Rachel's Famous Coffee has a foundation to work with indigenous communities throughout Central America, Africa, Southeast Asia, and all coffee-producing countries in the world, helping to create community-based, self-sufficient business cooperatives. He paused and let Claire absorb what he was saying. "This project is going to make a genuine, lasting difference, and for communities all around the world, it's going to take a significant amount of money to fund it properly. We need someone to design and coordinate the global effort to raise that money. I know that is a little different from what you've been doing up until now, but we'd like that someone to be you. If you're interested." Claire was too thunderstruck to say a word. Joe nodded as if Claire had spoken and continued, "Of course you'll need to think about this. What I'd really like is to have my wife, Susan, tell you more about it. She's the smartest civil engineer I know, and we've been lucky enough to persuade her to leave her position with the city and join us. And he glanced at his watch. That's awesome to hear that Joe and Susan, married couple, have an awesome relationship now where they're actually partners in a business. And certainly Joe's life has turned around in a great way where he's operating, instilling these habits, instilling a mindset, instilling a very genuine way of relationships. And again, I think it's the biggest factor in your quality of life is dependent on how you treat others, how you have relationships with all different people. So going back to Claire, pausing, Joe said nothing. We give us just mumbling there, mumble jumble. And it ends like this. This is how the story ends. I love it. A question like that deserves a clear, competent, complete answer, and I promise to give you exactly that over lunch if you're free to join us. Have you ever been to Ayafrates? It's our favorite. Ayafrates, if you remember, is from chapter 3. That's where Ernesto's business restaurant, the Italian restaurant cafe, is located. And as you can see, he's going to introduce Claire to the 5 laws of stratospheric success as he was introduced, and steering her in the right direction to become a better version of herself. Thus, being good with herself, she's able to perform to the highest possible abilities to give the most value to others, which then leads to influencing her ability to influence the most people, which then leads to her receiving what she's giving out. Thus, the 5 laws of stratospheric success. Law of value. Your true worth is determined by how much more you give in value than you take in payment. The law of compensation. Your income is determined by how many people you serve and how well you serve them. The law of influence. Your influence is determined by how abundantly you place people's interests first. The law of authenticity. The most valuable gift you have to offer is yourself. And the law of receptivity. The key to effective giving is to stay open to receiving. Great read. Really enjoyed it. I imagine I'll read this book again in the future. Highly recommend. The Go-Giver. Certainly, these 5 laws are being implemented. I've already typed 3 of them up in my affirmations that I say on a daily basis. I'm going to do the other 2 in my daily affirmations, and certainly great value that I've gotten from it. It's made me easily a better version of myself today than I was in the past. So I'm really grateful and thankful and appreciative that I had the opportunity to be given this book and then read this book and grow from reading this book and pass along what I've read to others and taking action from it and doing it with a purpose. So on that note, I'll check in with you later on in my future Daily Xanders and in more future book readings. My Adam's apple is sore right now for some reason, maybe because I'm talking all these book summaries. All right, peace out, as always, the Go-Giver. Lex the Go-Giver. Hoorah.